Hi guys, it's me, Maryam, and we're in the ladies' corner today. And we have a special guest today, Clarissa.
Hey,
How are you, Clarissa?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me today.
How's everything going? How's life treating you?
Life is lifing, but I'm here another day to fight the life to get on
That's
with life.
great. That's great. So, guys, today we're going to be talking about a very, very good topic regarding fatherhood and raising teenagers. And as me and Carissa
Yeah,
been friends for years,
from teenage years.
hmm primary school, high school, you name it. So today we're on here to talk and give some advice to the young moms out there. And yeah, so stay tuned and join us for this amazing talk. So, first of all, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about
Okay.
yourself so they can be familiar with
Yeah.
who you are and what you do?
So my name's Clarissa. I'm 36. I'm mother of two boys. Most people probably see me around and know me as a face painter. I also do hair braiding, which I do with Maryam at a salon. And on top of that, I'm also studying uni doing business and tourism management. So I'm looking to expand
That's
myself
great.
in a lot more avenues.
So, tell us a bit about your kids. How many kids do you have?
So I've got two big age gaps. So I've got an 18-year-old and I have a 4-year old. I was crazy enough to have 14 years, but that's what God wanted.
We can't
And
stop that, can we?
yeah,
Whatever's God written for us.
it's been an experience because, as you know, the first one I had when I just turned 18, and then my second in my early 30s. So very two different experiences, and I've been two different kind of mums at the same time.
Oh.
It's been mad, but it's been good.
So, what are you doing currently now? Are you working or are you just like studying?
Studying, I'm trying not to overload myself, which I know my single mums tend to overload and try to be mum and dad and do everything. So I'm trying to spend a lot of time focused on my studies and home life.
Mm-hmm.
But you know we've got to get that coin too, so
Yeah.
work has to be done.
Yeah. So what would you say that you've learned over the years with raising teenagers and kids and as a single parent as well?
You
How
have
would
to
you
have
say
a
that
lot of
was?
patience. I know that's definitely one, and have grace and not be so tough on myself doing it because you have all these expectations. You want the best for your kids and you want them to do well. And a lot of the time, I know sometimes I'm borderline overcompensating, and
Mm,
sometimes I had to reel myself in at times and be like, right, don't be doing too much just because so and so is not there, but just giving my best of what I can at the time, which can be sometimes I'm hitting them targets and doing well, and other times yeah I'm just like very quite tough on myself, which I'm sure a lot of other single mums can relate with that as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I feel like when you're younger and you're raising kids as well, it's like you still want to be going out
What do you
enjoying
mean? I'm still raising
yourself.
myself.
But
I'm
they
still
don't
raising myself.
don't you feel
Like,
like you grow with them as well? I feel like
yeah,
I've grown with them,
definitely
like
with my
having
eldest, we
teenagers.
have grown together for
Hmm.
sure. And like, he's like my best friend. He's like I'm his best
Oh.
friend. Like, I remember telling him, he must have been like 10. You know, when it's like getting to that age of understanding and asking questions, and I was like, son, like it's hard as it is, yeah. Don't make it harder. You help me, help you, yeah.
Mm,
You let me know where I could do better or I'm going wrong, and I help you, and let's just kind of have that communication and let's help each other because it's just us two, and it's not always easy. It's not always that's smooth and possible, but
trust me, it's not easy
yeah,
raising kids.
especially when
You have to
hormones start
sacrifice
kicking
a lot.
in
But do you
and
not find that it's easy done when you're younger than when you get older?
um. When I was younger, I probably had less patience to a degree.
Really?
To a degree, but I think because I did have help of my sisters as well, so I was still able to
Okay,
kind
okay.
of live my life, study, travel, work, and have my sisters support me with my son, so I can still have a life at the same
Mm,
time.
mm,
But finding that balance was not easy either,
mm.
and I felt like I was still being a child myself at times. I think
Yeah.
when I got into like my 20s, obviously I matured a lot more, got more experience, and it did make it a lot easier, and just speaking up and looking at other mums and having the
Yeah.
internet, I'm not gonna lie, I'm glad I've been born in the decade I am, where prehistoric, before internet, and during the internet and the development of it, because it has helped a lot in terms of, you know, because I was running off what I was raised on, and not all of it I agreed with, and thought, yeah, I'm gonna take that
It's
on.
it's a lot different, isn't it, now in
Yeah,
this generation and the generation that we were brought up in. It's
very.
more stricter, but now I feel like a lot of things are just
I think because
more.
we've gone from, our parents are too strict, let's be lenient and let's be soft, and we've gone from one extreme to another. So now I feel like, as a collective, we are trying to find that balance, but then
Mm,
we're also fighting against social media, who's in the middle.
oh yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a
It's
bit
hard
mad
as well.
because parenting with social media, it has its pros, because as a single mum and I've not got the time, it's like, here, sit and watch a bit of Paw Patrol, or, PJ Masks, and keep yourself a little bit busy. But then a lot of the time it's then that comes with, oh, demand, I want this, I want that, I want the TV, I want the phone. I'm like, go to bed.
Yeah. And also, do you not find that like sometimes they see stuff on social media and they're like, oh, I need to have this gadget, I need to have this game, I need to have this. So
Yeah.
like some parents, it's fine if you can afford it, but I feel like some parents like trying to work and trying to pay your own bills, especially being a single mom as well. Sometimes you're like, oh, you don't want to let that child down. But then somehow it kind of motivates you because you're like, I want to get that for my child, that you feel that
Yeah.
happiness where they don't have to look other places to kind of,
It's true, but I
get it.
think
So
as parents, it is part of our job as well to kind of balance and humble our kids, to say, not everyone gets. You know what I mean? Like, know the difference when you need something to when you want something, and sometimes making them earn it,
it's
which,
true, it's true.
that's where it's like, it's that instant gratification. Everyone just wants it now because it's shown, have it now. And this,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, these YouTube families, I'm not gonna lie, they low
They
key
don't help.
irritate me.
They don't help at
They
all.
kind of irritate me. I like it, but it's not realistic. It is an illusion that they're
Yeah.
creating for our kids to think, yeah, everyone's family's like this. We got brand new Hot Wheels in the kitchen drawer, like every edition. Like, no, mummy's kitchen drawer's got lots of
Yeah,
bits and
like
bobs.
you see them with all these designer stuff and all these
Yeah,
bags and shoes and stuff, and they're like, you don't even work, so how do you afford this?
exactly.
So it's like a social media, like a fake life on there that the kids. But before, when me and you were growing up, it was like they would come and knock the door and be like, "Oh, can you come?
Yeah,
Are you coming out today? Are we going to the park?" It was
just
just
that.
just playing on the playground was a big deal.
I used to
Compared
love
to
it.
now,
I
it's
used to
like, are
love it.
you coming on the game?
I
Like, are you
couldn't wait
coming
to
on
get
the
out the
game? So
house.
it's
I'd be
like,
like, let's go climb a tree. Let's find an abandoned house. let's go ride our bikes around the block. And not many kids now have that mindset. But then today's changed. Like, sometimes it's scary having your kids out there. So it's like you want them out to be active and enjoy and be kids. But then is that fear, like, why your kids out there? Kids are getting in shots, licked down. Like, there's so much happening, and kids are being coerced by other kids whose parents are not as strict or on them as to
exactly.
what they're involved in. So it's very tricky now as being a parent,
And
definitely.
also, like, what happens behind these games? Sometimes you have, like,
Oh,
really
the
weird
online
people
online life is not that
online.
easy
It's like,
either, because
you
there's
have
the
to keep an eye, yeah.
cyberbullying, there's the grooming online. Like, I didn't realize, like, that Roblox business. Like, these weirdos are on the chats. I'm chatting to kids
But
like
then
they're a
again,
kid.
do you not feel like if you have that solid friendship with your child, that you're monitoring their behavior and like just being a
It
friend?
doesn't even necessarily
Yeah,
have to be a
just being a
friendship. I
friend.
think just having regular monitoring
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
regular screen time and just check-ins and educating them. And because then as a youth worker, we did online safety with the kids, as well as we did road safety with the kids and stranger danger. And a lot of families, they're not having these conversations. They're probably waiting on school to have these conversations. And a
Yeah.
lot of the time, school's not even hitting them corners or them elements in life. Like, so I think it is down to parents or even the community to make it a point where we feed it into the parents first and
Mm,
foremost, which then can filter down to the
yeah.
kids.
I
Yeah.
just hope like we had more community help as well. Like growing up, I feel like maybe if there were more youth groups or there was like more activities for the kids to do you think they would be less focused on?
Well, from coming from a youth background, like, when I become a youth worker, I thought, yeah, it's about helping the kids and we do activities, get them involved. It's not like that. Like, there's so much red tape. There's so many targets you gotta meet. You gotta meet an agenda as well. We're gonna work on these kids in this area and we give you money for them. And it's not really necessarily the work that's needed to work on them. And before, everyone's now all about themselves, and everyone's a selfish generation. Me, myself, and I don't care what you're doing next door. And next door could be your lifesaver sometimes, you know what I mean?
It's true. It's
Building
true.
them relationships.
It's
I
true.
think.
It's true. So, what would you say was like the really difficult stage of the child growing up that you, obviously being a single mom, what was for you that was just like the make and the break situation where you were just like, oh, I wish I had someone else to help me with this, kind of like.
Times when you're going through burnout, when you're overwhelmed, times when you got your kids asking, "Where's dad? Who's my dad? Where's my dad?"
Yeah.
And also, feeling the judgments of other people can
Oh,
be
that's another big
much.
thing as well.
Yeah.
Like, you need to do this for your kids. No, you need to raise
Are
them
you
like that.
spoiling
And
them? Are you doing this? And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
hold up a minute.
I know. But then sometimes I feel like it really depends on the schools that you take your children to, the friends that they have around, and the people that they're around as well.
Yeah,
So
your environment
yeah, it's
definitely
really
has a big
important
impact on the
because
kids.
yeah, because I feel like if you are in a very toxic environment, then your children are. Do you know what? You can never say a child's gonna be good if you take them private schools or if you take them to normal schools. It's just on how the child is.
It's on how the child is, but it's a collective of things, and it's how the household is, it's how they perceive and take in information, their school, because a lot of schools that they're not really meeting the kids' needs. Again, it's all about targets, where the money's are, where they have to do certain things, and it's not really for the overall well-being of a child. Like, going to school, like, how much of that I can say I retained or was valuable to my everyday life? Not much, I'll be honest. So I think
Yeah.
it does fall on us as parents to kind of fill that space, but it's hard when you got to work and you got to run the household. It's not always doable. So when it comes to that, they're the times where I wish there was another person there to help. If they could cut down help on the household chores, I can then spend more time investing in the kids' education or spending more quality time and not feeling so spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But then again, you
definitely.
have to always make sure as well that you've got the right person by you to support you because
Oh
you
yeah,
don't want
because I ain't trying to have another
someone
child
that's
that I
gonna
can push
drain
out.
you.
I
Do
don't
you
want
know? You don't want
a
that
man child. I
draining.
want someone that's gonna be a partner. Someone can help with the load and not add
Yeah.
to the load. So yeah, that's when it gets a
Yeah.
bit tacky. When you got someone that's you get people that are even jealous of how you care for your kids, and that's not good either. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've also noticed as well, like now I feel like more children's disability are being picked up because if you take your child to school and they're behaving a certain way, the teachers would come and ask you and be like, why is your child doing this? You're spoiling your child. But you don't know that child could have ADHD, could have like some autism or something that's triggering that.
Yeah.
So I feel like in schools, sometimes they have to kind of diagnose in the school to kind of find out. Then
Well,
because it really affects their learning. It
it
really
depends
does
because
affect
I've
their
had to
learning.
go for the diagnosis with my eldest one. I've also been diagnosed with ADHD only this year, to be honest. But a lot of it is the education again, which could come from schools, it could come from doctors to educate parents on noticing the early signs of autism, ADHD, and then the schools because what they're not realizing they need to change the style of learning in schools because they even told us growing up that there's what 4 different learning styles. Some people hear
Because some
information
kids
and
get
take it in.
agitated, don't they,
Some
when they
people can
understand?
see it and they take it in. A lot of people they gotta go through the motions and do a combination. And in schools, but I don't know how the schools are now. I know that a lot of them using education, technology, but it's being mindful of that and setting a curriculum that involves kids to be more creative, have more vocal communication in terms of conversations, debates, having perspective on things, problem solving. I don't think they don't even do that in school. How to problem
Yeah.
solve, about well being, meditation. Like there's so much I think is missing off the curriculum
I
that could
know.
be included to help parents at home as well. So
Mm-hmm.
how to regulate the
I think they
behaviour.
should start teaching in schools, like especially teenagers. Now, once they leave year 11, how to start looking for jobs and how to,
What do we have to do
simple
about a
things like
CV and practice
that's it.
interviews? Like,
No help. Like we didn't even know how to confidently speak to, employees or
if you had an
workies.
issue
Yeah,
with
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
manager, how would you address that and things like I
Yeah.
think that could really help people a lot to
Yeah,
deal with
just make it
confrontation in
easy for
there.
them or
Yeah.
maybe help them because I feel like sometimes people struggle now, like especially little kids now to find little jobs and go out there. It's a scary world. It's a
It
scary
is.
world. Once they finish university, it's like, where do I start from? You
Yeah,
know?
and you don't get prepared for that. I mean, no one
Mm.
does, and sometimes it will help a long way if you're able to give people a bit of direction or
Mm-hmm,
options available. But
mm-hmm.
again, that's where there's gaps in the system, which I think people out there need to be filling.
But I just want to say happy Father's Day to all the good
Happy
fathers.
Father's Day, even those that are not
All the
fathers.
fathers that take
Yeah,
good care of their
because I know there's
kids,
a lot of men out
whether
there that are
you're,
not.
with the wife or whether you're separated.
Mm-hmm.
So it still means that you can play a part in that child's, life and still help out, still be there for them. I feel like when you have both sides, kids tend to not react as much than when you've got absent father because then they're aware that, okay, if your mom lets you get away with it, your dad's not gonna let you get away with it. Do you
It's
know what I
having
mean?
that balance.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very important that both mum and dad do not necessarily have to be in the home. I mean, it'd be great if they could both be in the home, but if they can cordially get along together outside the home and co-parent and support each other raising the kids and showing them this is how a man should look after a woman, this is how a woman should look after a man, this is how you respect the opposite sex and stuff like that. I think that is very important and it's a necessity to give kids that
What
balance.
what about like the roles now? Do you feel like men are doing and taking part in the roles as raising kids and stuff, or do you
Um,
think like boys are having to go out there and like do what they have to do to
I
to
don't know. I
learn,
think
like
there's
because
a
of the absence
mixture.
as well?
There's a
Or
mixture
yeah.
because I'm also seeing a lot of men in the generation that are doing complete opposite of the generation before, where they're actually stepping up and being accountable. They're in touch with their feminine side and the masculine side, and they're wanting to do better. And then the ones that are just following a narrative, well, my dad didn't do nothing, so I'm not gonna do nothing. But they are it's 60-40. There's still work to be done, but there's our parents or there's still dads out there that are willing to, but they just don't know where to go. And I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
lots.
yeah.
When I try to support my brothers, there's not much out there really when it comes to dads and fathers
Yeah.
and their support because with women, some of us can be very difficult. Very
I know.
difficult. Especially when it comes to that a man doesn't want to be with them in a relationship, but they're
Mm.
still willing to be a father, and they're making it very difficult for a man to still
I
be a
just feel like
father
you
because they
have to
don't
put
want
your
them.
differences aside and you just have
Yeah,
to
put
be
your
like,
emotions
we're doing
aside.
this for the
Like it's not
kids.
about you. Like
Do
it's
you know what I
about the
mean?
kids.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You
Like I
can't let
would.
that trigger
Yeah.
where then you're constantly at each other's faces
Yeah, and
and you're
that's
like,
not healthy.
what's
That's
going
not
on?
healthy
Do
for
you know
your
what I
kids
mean?
to be seeing that either.
So, yeah.
Yeah, or putting them against. Oh, I have to choose my mom. I have to choose my dad. It's not good for a child's mental health
Yeah.
emotionally to having to be stuck in the middle like that. Not at all.
Yeah. But I feel like when you have a supportive, supportive family and supportive like you've got your brothers
Yeah.
and every your sisters and everybody. It's nice because then they helping you as well and also I feel like they're a role model for the boys as well. If you don't have the father around, at least you've got your brother. It'd be like
Even the ones that are not the greatest role model, they're still a role model because they're showing your kids what not to do and what's going to happen. So it's good to have a balance again. Balance is very, very key for me, is
yeah,
to
yeah,
have the
yeah, yeah,
balance of
yeah.
both. Because really and truly, you can't have one without the other. You can't have light without day. You can't have ups without downs. Like,
Yeah.
it's how you respond and go with them ups and downs,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just feel like wherever you are, like if you have a child in this world, make sure you find where they are and take good care of them because end of the day they're gonna come looking for you. I feel like they will come look for you when they get older. They want to know the reasons.
Yeah,
They
they
want
will.
to know where you were, why you were absent, what's happened. I feel like kids as they get older, they like to know a lot, to
Yeah, you
investigate,
get
to learn.
curious. The
Yeah, you do.
curiosity, them little thoughts in the back of your head, and
Yeah.
a lot of that comes with doubt. Was I not good enough? is it because of me? And they want them questions answered, and they
It's
want to
true.
say,
It's true. It's
oh,
true.
was my mum right? Was my mum just chatting rubbish?
Yeah,
Like, I want to see for myself, like, is he a waste man? Is he not a waste man?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
It's true.
yeah,
It's true. It's
yeah, I
true.
think that's always, and it, parents that are absent, they have to be ready and willing to be prepared for that day to come and
Yeah,
be
but
able
then
to answer
again,
them
you know what you have?
questions.
You have like mothers are absent as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you think about fathers, but then you have mothers that are absent that don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be part in
I
that
mean,
child's
mothers are
life.
absent. There's mothers that are absent, but they're present. Like they're there in the
Mm,
physical, but they are
mm,
mentally gone, like emotionally gone. Like
mm,
not here,
mm.
just going with emotions, autopilot. Yeah, I took them to school. I fed them. They gone to bed. Right, I'm done my mum job.
Yeah,
But there's a lot to it, and I think when I first had my son, I thought that was kind of the role of a mum. Like, just feed them, clothe them, send them to school. This is what mum's supposed to give them a hug, kiss, goodbye. But there's a lot more that you have to
yeah,
take into it. It's having that patience, the late
yeah.
nights, the giving them food before you eat, and if you have to starve, like there's sacrifices that we still have to kind of
I
take as a mum.
know, and
It's mad.
just drop offs, the pickups from school and stuff. Like no
Yeah.
matter where
The
you are.
tantrums. Oh my gosh, my son did the biggest tantrum in Manchester and Dale. I
Bro.
swear, if I wasn't black, I would really went red. Like, I was like, and part of my head's like, do I discipline my child or what? Because there was so many things going on. I'm like, this child just needs to get up in it. Just get up, please. Just get up and let's go.
I know.
But even then, struggles, and it's like, wow,
Oh, the
it's
toddler
mad.
stage is funny because they'll do little things just to irritate you, and you're like, right, when we get home, we go in naughty corner.
Mm.
They'll sign this.
It's like,
So it's like,
I want it now. And
yeah.
like, well, so I said to him, it's like, all right, you can have it. We'll come back on a treat day and we'll have a look. And then, I want it now. And I was like, well,
What do you
I
think?
want, don't
What do you
get.
think like worked for you though? Like in terms of discipline, like what were you doing? What was the best way of disciplining your
Well,
child?
now with the little one, I do like a countdown.
Okay.
So countdown 5, 4, 3, 2, and he'll look at me and he'll be like thinking. I can see him going in his head like, "Wow, what do I do? Do I continue crying and acting out, or do I just like shutting up and like, I'm sorry?" And most of the
Oh.
time, he shuts up and says, "I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can I have a hug?" And it's have just doing them things like, all right, acknowledging they're acting up because they're tired, because they're hungry. And it's not just, so much. Sometimes it's so easy to shut your mouth and go sit down. Sometimes it's like, all right, you're tired in it. Come, give me a hug. Give me a hug. Right,
It's that
you good? You
attention
good?
as well.
Right, go
Yeah.
sit down now. I'm going to get you food.
Yeah. Sometimes they crave for attention as well. I feel like the kids
Yeah.
they do want that, but then that plays a lot in as they get older as well. Like the things that you go, the love that you receive when you're a child.
Yeah.
The everything that happens to you when you're a child. Then as you get older, it can either be a trauma. It
Yeah.
can make you do all different things, or it can be like you can be a very lovable person because you've received the right love from your parents and
Even
stuff.
when you're acting up.
Yeah.
And that's what I
It's
feel like I've learned with
crazy.
the second one is even though, yeah, you can chastise and discipline it, but also give them that hug at the end of it. It's like, I'm doing this is literally because I love you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
before you just got left to ball yourself to sleep. Do
I
you know what I
know.
mean? It's rocking yourself to sleep. Like, oh, my mom,
It's like,
come
no,
home
no,
to
no,
me.
no. Now it's like, if you don't listen to me, you're not playing on the game.
Yeah, but
You
I'm
know?
very firm believer. Those that
Yeah.
don't hear must feel, and don't necessarily mean you're gonna feel it physically in beats, but you're gonna feel it in your emotions. You're gonna feel the disappointment. You're gonna feel the hurt and
Yeah, yeah.
having your things taken away from you. You feel it, like you miss it. I mean, you can't look at your phone and see who's liking your pictures or whatever. You're gonna be like, oh, I better not do that again.
Do you know the funny thing is we never had this Instagram, TikTok stuff
No.
back in our days. Like
No.
we were out there socializing, like I was saying
We
before.
were spending hours
Going
making
to
a
get excited when the
ringtone.
ice cream man comes, like really running and trying to get some ice cream. But whereas now it's like, are you coming in the game? Right, we're gonna go play in the game, right? And you're just like, okay, right. So they'll be sat in there for maybe 2-3 hours.
But then there's positives to it because my son, sometimes they'll be on it till daft o'clock, but it's communicating with people across the world. It's like, oh, I'm talking to someone in France, I'm talking to someone in Australia, and I'm like, that's mad because at that age, I would have never thought I would have met an Australian at that age. You know what I mean? Like, how likely would you cross someone that's Australian and you're having conversations with them? Even though, yeah, you're up till daft o'clock, but that networking and communicating with different people, you're still learning, even though it's online.
So, for the young moms now, what advice would you give regarding raising a teenager, raising a boy or girl? Would you?
So I've got
Yeah.
boys, and I've always been watching. I want a girl, and but I see my sisters and my friends with their girls and their teens. I'm like, you know what? I'm blessed with my boy because he's not that much hard work. Yes, he eats a lot, and I should get extra money for all the food he eats. And clothes especially expensive with boys. So make sure you are able to provide and got something behind you. Like,
Yeah.
do not just rely on benefits to support you. Like, get yourself a side hustle, get an education or something behind you. Like, and remember what it was like as well. Being a teenager, I think that helps a lot. Being able to regress and think, I didn't like how my mum did it. How can I do it differently? What would I wanted my parent to be like? I think that does help.
Yeah.
And yeah, just keep bothering them at times. You do. Because I think when you leave them alone to their own devices, a lot of the time when they're acting out, it's because they want attention. Do you know what I mean? So it's about giving them the right amount of attention, I guess, and making
I would
time for
also
them.
say be friends with your children so then they don't
Yeah.
have to
Be up in
be
their business.
scared,
Be
yeah,
in
to
their
talk to
business.
you, whereas they can come to you, talk to you, tell you. And I feel like the best thing about being a teenage mom for me was having my kids to come to me and they can talk to me, and like the minute we get in the car after, before the school drop off, so after they're like, oh mom, guess what, this and this and this happened,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
just to have that relationship with them was amazing, because now as I get older they can just sit, discuss, ask questions, and
Yeah.
it's nice. So I feel like as before you become a mom, I feel like you need to, number one, get yourself together, get yourself mentally, physically fit, also get your education, make sure that you have a good job, because you don't want to be just relying on anybody or relying on any system to pay for your child. So you need to be stable, so in order when that child comes, they require a lot, and trust me, it's expensive nowadays raising
And it's
kids.
getting more expensive. It's getting more
Yeah,
expensive.
just yeah, just have a good family. I feel like though the other thing is, I've also seen that when kids come from a single mother or a mother that struggle to raise them, as they get older, they want to do good things for you. They want to work hard, and like,
But then there's the downside to that.
in
You ain't
which way
done
do you
nothing
mean?
for me. Oh, it's bare minimum. The kids are so ungrateful these days. Why my friend's got this scooter and this and this and that. Why can't I have it? Do you know what I mean? So there is, like I said, there's always two sides to it.
Yeah.
Like you could raise both like two kids the same, and both of them, one of them more grateful than the other.
Yeah,
Do you know
it's
what I
true,
mean?
it's
So
true, it's true, it's true.
yeah, and it's just reminding them to be humble and grateful. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And keep your kids on taps when it comes to social media, because I think that's one thing that worries me a lot, to be honest.
I
Like,
got my 18-year-old allows me to have his location. It's the app 360. I don't know if I still got it on this phone. It's really good.
guys,
You can know
get the
where he is.
locations,
You
your
can
kids.
save his friends, the gym. Like you can know if their battery's dying. And you like charge your phone.
Yeah.
You can send out a message saying love you. I'm not getting paid to advertise this. I'm just saying. It's actually a pretty good app because I can see where he can see where I am as well. So it's that safety and that being able to relax and be like, I know where mum is or mum knows where I am. But it's keeping taps and regular checking in on their socials.
And just enjoy
And their
being
friends.
a mom.
You've got to know who their friends are. Like, even my son's friends, they're that comfortable with me. They come to me with their problems.
Same,
And I like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I like
yeah,
that the friends can come to me as well. I don't know if it's obviously because I've had youth work background as well, but I think it's important to know who your children's friends are as well, especially when they're teenagers. Because you don't know the kind of influence that they've got or they have on your child.
Yeah.
So I think if you've got teenagers, be nosy. Be involved as much as you can. Even if you just be an FBI. Do what you have to because
But then
teenagers
again, you
go
don't
so
want to be
much.
too much, whereas they'll be like, "Oh my god, my mom's obsessed with me. She's watching
No,
everything."
there's
You
a
just
healthy
want
way
to-
of doing it. I think again there's balance. Like don't be extreme and toxic and make them feel like you're invading their privacy and they're not being able to be themselves. But let them know I'm here on the sidelines, I'm watching you, and I got other people watching you.
It's true. It's true.
So
It's
yeah,
true.
because when they know, then they're less likely to probably act up, I guess. Because when we was growing up, you knew like, oh, my mum's friends down the road, or
You would
so
just
so
get
they're
that
gonna
look from
they're
your
gonna
parent,
tell
be
my
like,
mum, they're gonna tell my mum. So
yeah.
you didn't act up too much. You
Like,
probably
especially when
did.
you do something that's not good and you've got that
Yeah,
look,
you do
like,
that in different areas.
you're just like, okay, okay, she's not happy.
Yeah, you go to
I
a
need to
different
fix up.
postcode for that, but they don't know you if you want to do the acting out. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time, you was made to be a bit aware of what you were doing, and I think that's been lost as well, because people are don't chastise my child, don't say nothing to my child, mind your business, and it's that kind of sense of it takes a village to raise a child has been
Yeah,
lost, and I think it
yeah.
just needs to be brought back up again.
So, we have a few questions for the producers at the back. So, we want to know, as it's Father's Day today, we wanted to know, what was the best thing and how did you feel when you became a father, being a father?
Um, Scary,
Why? Why did you find it
because
scary?
it is a great responsibility, isn't it? Like everything's fun until that you get a baby in your hands, and that's yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then your reality kicks in. So it does become like not about you anymore, really. So it is a scary, but also a good feeling, actually.
Okay. So what did you learn, like becoming a father? Like what did you have to step up to be like, okay, now it's not about me. I'm a dad now, and like responsibilities that you had to change about yourself, or responsibilities that you've gained now that you're a father compared to when you wasn't a father.
Um, to be honest with you, like it's a crash course, in it. Like you learn everything on the job.
Yeah.
To be honest with
They
you, like
do.
no, there's no book that you can read about it, stuff like that. But you just learn and you grow with it. To be honest with you, and I think like she already mentioned, basically you have your good days and bad days, like where you just things are sometimes tough. Because I think there's always a differences between being a mother and being a father, obviously, and each of them have a different role, and you just learn, innit? Like you
Well,
just,
I say the different slightly, but they are pretty similar. The role of both parents is to protect the children, to guide your children, to educate your children, to nurture them,
Yeah, yeah,
and that
yeah.
can come from both mum and dad, I believe. Like even in terms of finance or how to maintain or look after the home, you can learn that from both mum and dad.
And also just simple things like taking your child to football, with just daddy duties
Like,
and
do you take your kids to
yeah.
doctor's appointments? Because I know most dads try to avoid
Yeah.
them kind of
Yeah.
responsibilities and duties.
yeah, I did a lot.
Oh, that's
Spent
good.
a lot
That's
of nights
good.
in emergency nights.
That's good. That's good.
That's
Because a
really
lot of the time it
good.
does get left
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah,
mummy's
yeah, yeah.
hands to do.
Do you
Oh,
guys think, especially like having a teenage boys now, because obviously I don't have a teenage boy, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more scary now because like there was a 14-year-old kid who got stabbed to death the other day?
oh,
Yeah, I actually know. Is it Ibrahim? He's friends with my nephew. It is scary, especially when you got black boys. I feel like it's 10 times even scarier. And then it's even scarier when you live in that environment and in that community. Like, I used to fear like him just going out. I'm thinking, what time are you going out? How long are you gonna be? Who you gonna be with? like,
it's true,
like
it's true,
making
it's true.
sure I'm constantly looking on the news to see who's been stabbed, what child's been stabbed, what area. You're constantly in that fight or flight mode, and you're like, this is not a healthy way to be. I have moved out the area, but it doesn't make it any easier. I mean, I'm not gone that far out, but it doesn't make it any easier. And I think the only thing that gives me comfort or gives me reassurance is by having conversations with my son and making sure he's aware and prepared. So if he gets stopped and searched, what do you do? If someone wants to do something stupid, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
asking
yeah,
him
yeah.
questions like, you going to go with the crowd or you're not? Because I'm like to take my son, like, I want you to be a leader, not a sheep, like a shepherd, not a sheep. I want you to be following, even if it means that no one's following you, that you're still doing the right thing, even when no one else is there to be in your corner. which is not easy because peer pressure is not easy when you're that age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
feel like it's more peer pressure as well. Like, I feel like just because that group of friends of yours are doing it, that you feel left out, you have to go and do it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just God protect our kids.
Yeah, because it's a
not
whole
easy,
joint
no.
enterprise. Like, I even let my son know, you might not have been there. You could have sent a text or shared a text. You're involved. And making him aware of the laws around that. Because, again, I learned a lot of that through doing youth work and the training and doing sessions with the police.
And just, like
letting
being
your kids
in the wrong
know,
place.
wrong place, one time.
You can be in a car with someone, they get caught, and that's it. You're in
Yeah.
trouble. You're going in with them.
Because
Investigation.
growing up,
and just
there
goes
was
on.
so many mistaken identity murders growing up. When I was growing up, there was so many just by association, because you let on to my man that was part of that man's crew, and it is just scary.
Yeah.
And there isn't much activities that ain't costing a fortune for your kids to be involved in, so they're not getting caught up in foolishness on the streets. And I think there's a need more for that.
That's what I was saying
Especially-
before. Yeah, we
Like,
need
football's
more
good, but
community.
Football's good, but not all boys are into football.
Yeah.
My kids are not big on football, but there's other things that should be available to them besides that. Yeah, because a lot of them are quite intellectual. Some are into engineering or music or gaming and stuff. There's nothing really there for that, and I think there's a need for that. So, is anyone any nerds out there? Set up a little workshop for these young
we need
people.
more community work, more community support, and I feel like they need to be active. Like, I feel like we need to get them more out instead of just being indoors and being on games.
I want to do camping. I think that'd be a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's not many scout clubs around, is there? If there is, they're quite private. I think things like scout clubs where you're getting kids to learn survival skills. So, how to set a fire, how to read a compass, do you know what I mean? How to put a survival bag together, how to do first aid, because first aid is needed, definitely. I think that should be mandatory. Primary school and high school, everyone should know first aid, because it can save your life or somebody else's. Just normal, not normal, because it's not even normal over here. In America, like, that's normal. Kids go to summer camp and they learn all of these things. Over here, they leave you to be stupid and rely on the system.
Do you think, like, they took a lot of money out of the community where they used to have, like, like back in the days, there was like a hideaway?
Yeah, I used to work with them. They had it, and that's when I stopped doing the youth work, because the funding got cut. The Powerhouse, Hideaway, Proctors, like, the funding got taken away from all of these places. And it's like, well, what do you expect
kids on the street, all of them, because
Exactly.
there was a lot of places for
you might
kids
as well
to
go to Piccadilly Gardens and go make money. Like, it's seen as so easy to do. It's like, why not? Because what else is there to do?
But do you think now, like, statistics and rates and stuff, like, crime is less now, or do you think it's more now? Growing up, there's more less crime
I would say
now,
the crime
or do you
is
think?
less.
It's more lethal, if I would say.
Yeah.
It's more extreme, yeah, definitely.
Because back in the days, like, when kids are fighting, they fight by hand.
Kids don't even know how to fight. That's the thing. That's why they're using weapons. They don't know how to fight. Like, I never been a tomboy growing up. Fist out, like, drag, punch, like, and you'll shake hands afterwards, or maybe not, but you survived. You're alive to fight another day. But these kids are like, yeah, I'm just gonna juke you or wet you or whatever the nonsense they're saying these days.
Now,
like life means nothing.
Doesn't help with the music that comes out.
The music is terrible.
Not
I
coming
don't
for any
listen to it.
artists, but nowadays,
I
what
don't
are we
do all that
listening to? What are we
drill
really
business,
listening to?
because
I'm telling
all you're
you.
talking about, you just self-confessing, you just committed murder and you said it on the track. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
The
It's
material.
It is a
of
big
music.
business, though.
Yes.
Like, the people are promoting this. And do you know what? The people are promoting this are people who nothing look like them kids.
Yeah,
who doing
but
it.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna get off spiritual and stuff. It's all the devil's work. It is. It's the devil's
Facts.
work, because if you look into history, the god of music is Lucifer, is the devil. The devil was God's favorite angel, and they gave him the best gift in the world: music. Music is a beautiful gift if it's used in the right way, but it's also used to, like, control people, which it has done to the young people. Gotten girls thinking it's okay to be an OnlyFans home, or do you know what I mean? Guys thinking, yeah, let's go out and just take someone's life.
I like
And
dressing maturely
prison's
now as
easy.
well, yeah.
Like, letting people know prison's easy. You can get what you want when you're in jail. Still, you're a boss. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Until they get there.
yeah, until they get there and they're getting strip searched and all the rest of it.
I know.
And I think that needs to be brought as well for young people. Let them see the reality of what it is like in jail. You think it's quick to go and take someone's life like that? and you're gonna be in jail for how many years?
It's true.
You're gonna lose out on what it's like to have a family or relationships or travel or anything, because you're gonna limit yourself now because you've got a criminal record. You can't go Disneyland in Florida. Do you know what I mean? They ain't gonna let you. But it's like letting them know these things, like fully aware of these are the consequences of your actions, and I don't think that's done enough. And the police could do that, but police have, for me, lost my trust in them anyway.
But sometimes when you talk to these kids that have been like kicked out of schools and having to do whatever just to survive and stuff, and like they're really nice people, they're genuinely nice people. It's just the fact that sometimes maybe they've gone to a school where one teacher has been at their face, or one teacher's been challenging, so then that teacher or that child is having that conflict where then the child end up being thrown out of school. So then it's very hard to get them into other schools as well. So that then triggers so that the child begins to believe that, oh, okay, I'm not good. I can't do this. I'm not good at education. So I'd rather just be out and...
Or just do nothing. Just be at home.
Just be out,
and
do whatever, yeah. So then I don't know how you would have to explain to that child, it's not you. It could be the teacher. I feel like, do they have more stricter rules and stuff in school where you can actually go in and be like, listen, my child has been misunderstood, this and this and this has happened?
I don't know. I think it's looking at other alternatives as well, because again, with my son, with his education not been that smooth, so he's gone from mainstream to specialist to halfway schools, and it's looking at environments that best suit your child, because one of the provisions he went to, it was a lot of skill based, so it weren't so much academic. He got to do music production, he got to do agriculture, he got to do cooking, he got to do like MLT, so life skills, which I feel like for teenagers it's more beneficial, because then they can say, oh, I can actually go home and do this and practice this at home, or go somewhere. And I think they need more life skills to make them more engaged, instead of thinking, oh, I'll just look at the board and write this assignment and essay, and do you know what I mean? And like, because the educational system is so messed up in the UK anyway, and it's set in a way that it's set the same as what prisons are, really. So they're preparing our children for the system.
But then you as a child, you as a parent need to be there as the educator, because I see a lot of parents that do homeschooling now,
and that's becoming very popular, and I've been really considering it myself, to be honest, like especially with the younger one, maybe more after he finishes primary school, because primary school they're just teaching you the basics, innit, really, and I let them teach in the basics, but after that I think I want to take more of a hands-on role, because I know a few people that have travelled the world with their kids, and they've learnt so much more travelling the world than they have been in a classroom 5 days a week, 9 to 3, doing the same mundane, boring stuff. So,
so there's another point as well. When the child, sometimes what I've learned was, I used to think, why does that child not want to go to school? Why does that child want to do? Sometimes bullying can be a form of a child not wanting to attend certain activities, not wanting to go to school. So how have you dealt with that, or have you been experience of a parent that's gone through like that with their child?
I know one parent that had to do with the child, and she did have to like move the school, because the school wasn't doing enough to kind of meet their needs in terms of what are the consequences of a child being bullied, what's happening. It's like not much is done. And for me, with that person, they was in a school where it's predominantly white people in the school, and so there weren't much support for ethnic minorities in there, and it was just kind of, you just had to kind of deal with it, sort of thing. Sorry, mum, but not sorry. Which is difficult, but my kids, I've not really had to deal with the bullying, but again, that's just work that as a parent you're going to have to just put more into your child, and boost their confidence, and let them know, like, don't listen to what they're saying, who you are.
It's good though, it's good that they do different religions now, and they teach all about that in school, so the child has the respect,
Yeah, we've also seen a whole lot of other stuff in school that there shouldn't be, like LGBT.
I know.
All of that,
no offense to anybody, we're not out here to, so
I just think it's just too early to be doing it in primary school.
Yeah,
Like that's a bit too much. Like
I feel like you should be given an option, not just force
like
the
too
child.
early
I
trying
feel,
to sexualize children already and getting them
Yeah.
thinking about things that they shouldn't be thinking of as yet. Like
Yeah.
high school, year 9, maybe year 10, but yeah, they're still a bit too much now these days.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Follow us on social media if you have any dilemmas, if you have any questions, if there's anything that we have not talked about and you want to hear more of us, please do put it in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching us, and thank you for being our beautiful guest.
Thank you for having me.
Bye guys.
Bye.